Am I the asshole for walking out of my birthday party because my roommate said it would be small? Throwaway and fake name. I, 25F. Share a condo with my roommate Sarah, 26F. Sarah and I have been friends for a few years, and since we lived together, she offered to throw me a small birthday party at our place. I was on board with it because I don't like huge gatherings and prefer intimate celebrations with close friends. I have slight social anxiety as well. Leading up to the party, I asked her what the plans were, and she assured me it would be a small get-together, just a few of our mutual friends, cake, and maybe a movie. That sounded perfect to me. Well, the day of the party rolls around, and when I came home, I quickly realized it was anything but small. Sarah had invited a ton of people, at least 50. Some were mutual friends, but a lot were people I barely knew or hadn't even met before. She had also set up a bunch of party decorations, hired a DJ, and there was even a huge table of food and drinks. It felt like a full-blown house party, not the chill gathering I was expecting. I immediately felt overwhelmed. I don't do well in big social situations, especially when I'm the center of attention, and this was way more than I had anticipated. I pulled Sarah aside and asked her why she invited so many people when we had agreed on something small. She shrugged it off and said, "Oh, come on, it's your birthday." I wanted to make it special. I appreciated the effort, but this wasn't what I wanted at all. I felt completely uncomfortable and anxious. After trying to stick it out for a bit, I just couldn't handle it and decided to leave. I ended up going to a nearby coffee shop to calm down and clear my head. After I left, Sarah texted me, asking where I was. I told her that I wasn't comfortable with the party and that I needed some space. She was upset and said I was being ungrateful for everything she did for me. Now some of our friends are saying I overreacted and that Sarah was just trying to be nice by throwing me a big party. I feel bad for leaving, but I also feel like she completely ignored what I wanted. Am I the asshole for walking out of my own birthday party because it wasn't the small event I expected? Not the asshole. What you did was very mature and not an asshole move. The party was more than expected and made you uncomfortable. You shouldn't have to stay in a situation that makes you uncomfortable even if it is your birthday party. I would suggest talking to Sarah about how you get overwhelmed in big crowds, especially with people you don't know too well, but that you loved the effort of her wanting to make it a special birthday. Edit. Sorry for the spelling mistake of should instead of shouldn't. Not the asshole. I hate when people pull stuff like this. Sarah either A. thought that you would be pleasantly surprised and flattered that she wanted to celebrate you so hugely, or B. thought your birthday was the perfect excuse to have a bunch of friends over and party. Either way, she completely ignored everything you told her about what you wanted. Plus, the way you handled it was nothing short of classy. Instead of storming off, you tried to stay for a bit, pulled her aside to explain how you felt, and left to collect yourself. You did absolutely nothing wrong here. Not the asshole. It's not nice to throw someone who is very vocal about not liking loud parties a large and loud party in your shared home. I wish some of your other friends would have left with you, knowing how much you don't enjoy this kind of setting. Not the asshole. Upon her request, you told her what you liked and wanted, and after completely reassuring you that's what would be done, she did the complete opposite. Someone offers you a coffee. You say sure. They ask if you want milk, cream, sugar, etc. You say 1 cream and 1 sugar. They say okay, let me get that for you. They come back with an espresso martini. While the essence of the original idea is there, it's not a fucking cup of coffee. Now some of our friends are saying I overreacted and that Sarah was just trying to be nice by throwing me a big party. But she wasn't being nice. She tried to force you into a situation that you weren't comfortable with, and then sulked about it rather than apologizing. She threw a party for herself, not you. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Either you and she have very different ideas of what constitutes a small party, or else she deliberately lied to you and never intended a small get-together, just a few of our mutual friends, cake, and maybe a movie, and instead planned something she had to know would make you uncomfortable. You were very mature to just calmly remove yourself from the situation. Which will also hopefully prevent any repeat and make her understand that if she plans anything in the future she needs to adhere to what you feel comfortable with. Am I the asshole for telling my friend they can't bring their dog to my house anymore? So, I, 24F, have a friend, Jess, 25F, who has a really energetic dog. I love dogs, but Jess's pup is a bit too much for me. Whenever Jess comes over, her dog jumps all over my furniture, knocks things over, and just generally causes chaos. I've tried to be patient, but it's gotten to the point where I'm worried something will break or get ruined. Last week, I had a small gathering at my place, and Jess brought her dog without asking. The dog ended up spilling drinks and knocking over some decorations. I was stressed out and asked Jess to take the dog outside for a bit. She got upset and said I was being unreasonable. After that, I told her I'd prefer if she didn't bring her dog over anymore. She got really mad and said I was being a bad friend. Now I'm feeling guilty, but I just want to enjoy my space without worrying about the dog destroying everything. So, am I the asshole for telling my friend she can't bring her dog to my house anymore? Jess brought her dog without asking. She did this because you have already given her permission. You need to fully rescind your permission and use her lack of control over her dog as the primary reason. If the dog was well behaved, I'm sure you'd welcome it, but it isn't, and that's your friend's fault. After that, I told her I'd prefer if she didn't bring her dog over anymore. She got really mad and said I was being a bad friend. So according to her, being a good friend is you letting her dog destroy your home? She's the one being a bad friend. She's the one not honoring your boundaries or respecting your home. Your house, your rules. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. She's being a bad friend by bringing her untrained dog without asking first. Not the asshole. It's your house, your rules. You're allowed to set boundaries, since her dog is causing chaos and stress in your space. If Jess can't understand that, that's on her and not on you. Not the asshole. It is your house. She clearly does not respect you or your home. You shouldn't have to tell her to not let her dog fuck up your home. If she can't keep him in check, then she should leave him at home like normal pet owners do. Not the asshole. Your friend lacks boundaries. If your friend can't respect your space, then perhaps she should host you. Or meet you in a public place. But I am alarmed that she would somehow think she's entitled to bring her animal to your home. This would be enough to make me reconsider a friendship. Not the asshole. I feel infinitely qualified to answer this question. I have a lovable half-trained lab. I would never take her anywhere without express permission in a large fenced yard. Your friend on the other hand is a bad pet owner. Am I the asshole for not lending my brother money when he could lose his condo? I, 35 female, my brother, 37 male, and sister, 39 female, all inherited money when our father passed away in 2022. Since then, my sister has spent all her money. My brother and his wife bought a condo in Florida, which used all their savings, and I have about $40,000 in my savings. Recently, my brother's building has had unexpected fees pop up that are out of their budget, a roof which cost them $6,000 a few months ago and now it's a $4,500 fee regarding upkeep of the shared parking lot. Typically I would never disclose my finances even with family, but since he is aware of what we all inherited, he's always been a bit obsessed about asking how much I have left, what my plans are, etc., essentially keeping tabs with it. My partner and I are currently 6 Malio pregnant and we're doing pretty well for ourselves, but we live in Manhattan and it's insanely expensive to the point where I am kinda needing to pull from my savings more often than I'd ever like to, and now that we are expecting a child I feel hyper protective of what nest egg we do have in case of emergencies, medical costs, etc. So last week he called me a bit intoxicated and said he really needs help with the $4,500 that is now due at the end of the month. He said his wife has some checks coming in and he will pay me back as soon as they get the money. I wasn't super comfortable with the conversation and did my best to avoid it, basically saying something along the lines of, why don't we wait and see if the money comes through, and if not we can talk. Yesterday he texted me and said, doesn't look like we are going to get the checks in by the end of the month and it would be incredible if we could borrow the money from you. Super annoying, I know, we are sorry. I responded with, I'm really sorry you're dealing with this fee, but I just don't have that kind of money right now. With the holidays coming up and medical bills for the baby, I'm tapped financially. I budgeted out the month and I can send you $150 if you need money for groceries, but that's all I can spare RN. Now for even more context, my brother and sister are both unreliable people. My sister, who I realize is not super relevant to this story, handles her finances very poorly and will ask to borrow money from me every 6 months or so. My brother has asked before but not as often. My sister has never paid me back and my brother has managed to get things together in the past to where I don't recall ever lending him much. Maybe a couple hundred here and there, but never got anything back. But I say this because he knows he can't ask my sister for help and our parents have both passed, which basically leaves me, his little sister. He is now saying that they could lose their condo and I am being an asshole for not lending him the money when they're clearly struggling. I am doing my best to keep things afloat for my partner and I really don't want to pull from my savings, not knowing I will 100% get it back. So am I the asshole for not lending them money? Your brother is going to lose the condo anyway. The question is whether he is going to lose it before or after draining your savings account. Not the asshole. The popular saying is, don't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. Your family, partner and upcoming child are your priority now. Not brother and his family. Notice how he moved the goalposts. First it was he'll pay you back when wife gets checks, now it's when we can. That money is gone the second you give it to him. Edit to clarify. Not the asshole, your brother should have planned better, It's absolutely not your responsibility to help him out, and just stop talking to him about finances. Good luck with the baby smile. Not the asshole. Never leave money to anyone that you can't live without. Never tell anyone about your money, they will ask for it. Your money isn't available because you invested it. Not the asshole. You are expecting in Manhattan, it's not worth risking your security and situation. That money can go real quick if you have a few extra medical bills you weren't expecting. If he's that bad off, he can refinance his condo. If they lose it, that's on them, and your sister and him can get a place together to save up for new places for the both of them. Great that they have a condo to sell. They can lose their asset since they can't afford it. No big deal, they're not destitute, just dumb. Not the asshole. But it's time to say that money is no longer liquid. It's tied up in a trust for your baby. That's what you say when he harasses you. He needs to sell the condo that he can't afford. Then he'll have money to rent a place he can afford. Am I the asshole for refusing to meet my dad and his girlfriend? I'm a 20-year-old male living in Switzerland with my mom and stepdad. In 2019, my mom divorced my dad, and since then, I've been living with her. After the divorce, my parents agreed on child support, 400 Swiss francs per month, which is very little by Swiss standards. Despite the amount being lower than what he should have paid, my dad often refused to pay without constant arguments. This has been going on for 4 years. In Switzerland, the law says parents are obligated to pay child support until their child finishes their first apprenticeship. I started one a while back but had to quit because my boss was manipulative, which caused me so much distress that I needed therapy. My dad showed no interest in what I was going through and just kept arguing about why he shouldn't have to pay. This summer, I started a new apprenticeship that's going really well, but he still refuses to pay. So, my mom and I decided to take legal action. At the first court hearing on Wednesday, he was incredibly disrespectful toward me and my mom. He spoke about me as if I didn't exist and made it clear he had no intention of supporting me. It hurt deeply, but it wasn't surprising. He's always been self-centered and dismissive of anything that doesn't suit his narrative. Honestly, he's the kind of person who always twists things to make himself the victim or the hero, no matter how much it hurts others. Yesterday, I got a message from his girlfriend inviting me over to their place. I knew they just wanted to pressure me into talking about the money, but after how he treated me at court, I didn't want to go. I told them no. My dad got angry, and his girlfriend started lecturing me about how I should cherish the time with him instead of focusing on money. It's so frustrating that they're making this about me being ungrateful instead of acknowledging the damage he's done, or the basic responsibility he's refusing to take. Not the asshole. Refusing to meet him after he disrespected you in court isn't about money, it's about self-respect. He can't dismiss your well-being and then expect you to cherish the time when it's convenient for him. If he wants a relationship, he should start by owning up to his responsibilities, not dodging them while sending his girlfriend to guilt-trip you. Boundaries are healthy, especially when someone's behavior consistently causes harm. I hope the courts start garnishing his wages for all the back support he owes you and your mom. Meeting with him and his girlfriend is a horrible idea. It would only serve for them to bully you and try and coerce you into stepping down. Glad your mom has your back. Block him. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You read that exactly right. They want to manipulate you to give up the dollar. Ignore their greedy asses. Wow, I'm very sorry that you have had to deal with your father's failure as a parent. It always infuriates me when a parent refuses to accept financial responsibility, at the very least, for their children. If he was truly interested in being a part of your life and asking for the chance to be involved, it might be different, but after the way he spoke about you and your mom and the way he made you feel, you don't owe him anything, but he owes you more than money. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your dad himself couldn't even invite you and had his girlfriend do it? Or maybe it was her idea? Sounds like she might have an agenda here, too. If I were you, I'd also stay away from these toxic, manipulative people. Young man, I lived in Lausanne for 10 years. I have a good grasp of the Swiss male mind. All you need to point out to him is that, in Switzerland, we follow the rules. If we don't follow the rules, there are consequences. In this case, the consequences will be that it will become known that you are a deadbeat dad and are not holding up your end of your responsibilities. He will become known as a disgrace in his village and in his community. Just shame him with the truth. Guaranteed, he will quickly come around and do the right thing. Bone courage.